know, it's so good.
Hello, welcome to another episode of Wherever the Yarn Takes Me. I'm Arynne.
I'm Kim.
We have a few things just to catch up on. We went last weekend to a Renaissance fair in Sterling, New York, and we stopped by a yarn store, and it was a wonderful experience. Kim had been there before, and it was my first time there. It's called Lift Bridge Yarn Co.
I think it's Lift Bridge Yarns.
Lift Bridge Yarns.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite yarn stores in Western New York, or I don't know, once you get towards Syracuse, people start calling it Central New York, whereas I think if you're from any place else, we're just upstate. So, I don't know, however you want to say it.
Is it technically in Syracuse then?
No, I think it's in between. I think it's technically Rochester, but it's kind of like the Syracuse side of Rochester.
Heard.
I believe.
It's wonderful. It's so cute inside. When you walk in, we're assuming it's the woman who owns it, is so just kind and helpful. She greets you at the door and directs you to all of the local stuff, and asks what you're working on, and she just was so helpful the whole time we were there.
Every time I've been in there, everyone's been so nice. I don't know, they always try to convince me to move to Rochester, which I'm not doing. I love Buffalo. But I always tell them, actually, you guys should open up a location in Buffalo.
Yeah.
But they're super nice, and they're really enthusiastic about the projects you're working on. And also, apparently, they have some really great knit nights they do there. So at some point, if we can line up some trip or just a day that we can make a little day trip, I really want to go participate in one of their knit nights. But yeah, they're cool, and I feel like they have some cool local yarn, which I love. I think they're one of 2 stores I've been to in Western New York that carry a lot of local yarns during the year, and not just at a yarn festival or something.
Yeah.
And they have some more of the high-end yarns, what's it called? Is it Woolfolk? Is that the one that we were looking at briefly?
I think so.
Yeah, so that's the only place that I've ever seen that yarn before, around here at least.
Yeah. We got some yarn for different projects. So we're going to show you just what we got and talk about the projects that we started on our weekend trip and or on the way home. And I finished my 2 projects, so we'll just talk a little bit about what we finished, what we're working on, and the yarns we got. So to start, I got these. Kim got me on the Blue Sky Fibers train.
It's so good.
I got these 2 colors from Blue Sky Fibers. This is the Woolstock Worsted. This is the logo. I got 2 because I'm making the Olga Sweater, the PetiteKnit Olga Sweater, which is the stripes. So these are my 2 stripe colors. This is the Midnight Sea. It's a really dark blue-green, I would say.
It's such a good color.
Really good. It's hard to see. It looks black in some light, it looks green in some light, and it's just really, really pretty. I like it a lot. And then I also am pairing it with this color, which is Driftwood.
It's really nice oatmeal.
Yeah. And together they just make a really, really beautiful fabric that I'm very excited about.
Actually, the vibe of those, with your outfit that you're wearing, it's
it's very good.
It's very good.
Happy accident. So I started the Olga Sweater in the car on the way home from our trip, and I only had maybe a few inches, a few stripes.
I think
when you saw it last.
Stripes.
Yeah, in the car I only did 2 stripes. And within the week I had a good amount done, but Kim hasn't seen it in a while, so
oh my gosh, you got so much done.
I got a lot done. So this is the back, the construction, you start the back
I can't believe how much progress
the
you
back
made.
yoke. I know. I've been dog sitting, and so I've had a lot of free time just like sitting outside, and I just get in the zone. But this is what it looks like so far. See, like in this light, it looks black, but when you see it up close, it's like a really, really dark blue.
It's like a deep turquoisey kind of color, but like a very dark, like the navy version of turquoise.
Yes, yeah, exactly. And I really, really love working with this. And I know Kim mentioned it with the gray sweater that she was working on. But it's really nice to work with. And so for this pattern as well, again, color work is still pretty new to me. So even stripes are like pretty simple, I would say, as far as color work goes.
It's color work though. It's
yeah, but you carry over the yarn on the end instead of cutting the ends, which it's a little difficult to see, but I'll do my best. Yeah. Which has been really nice, and there's no ends to weave in, which is really, really wonderful.
There's also something that like I don't know, I like with knitting the flexibility you have of being like, okay, it's all right if I mess up because I just unravel, but if you're cutting the yarn every time, it's so scary. Whereas with this, you can just kind of keep going and know,
you just go. Yeah. And I just think it's much more clean. You won't have all of, like, if I had to cut every end of every stripe, I feel like there'd just be so many little strings to weave in. So that is my exciting update for a new project. And it's because I finished 2 projects while we were on our trip, which means when you finish 2, you can start a new one, which is very silly.
That's the logic I use.
So I brought the 2 that I finished with me. I didn't block them yet, so they are a little scrunched, but I finished the Ripple Bralette,
Turned out so
which
good.
Look how tiny it looks now, and like the stretch on this is insane. Like, that's generally
like if it's on, it's gonna look like
yeah.
that. Yeah.
This pattern is really, really great, and I mentioned in like the first video I talked about it, that Martina from We Grow Wild talks about this pattern literally all the time, and I was like, I gotta see what it's all about. So I love it. It was really pretty easy. The directions were easy to follow. And it was also my first time doing I-cord, which I think like went pretty well. Like it was pretty easy to understand. I just watched a few videos first. The only thing that I think I would do differently if I were to do this again is make it a little bit longer. And I think it's just for my body. But I think also one thing that I got, or one thing I would probably do differently is make the strap a little longer. When I tried it on the first time, I was trying to measure it to make sure it would be long enough. But I also know that with I-cord, especially when you stretch it, like it ends up very stretchy. So I didn't want to make it too loose. And I think it's a little bit too tight. I would do it a little bit longer, but
Is it just like sitting too high under your arm?
Yeah, it just kind of like, I feel like if the strap was a little longer, I would be able to pull this down a little bit farther,
okay,
and I wouldn't need to make it longer. You know what I mean? So it would like solve both problems perhaps, but overall I'm really happy with this. The yarn is really wonderful to work with, and it feels really nice on. It's a wool, but doesn't feel scratchy. It's really soft and really like squishy, and I really love it a lot. So
it's so good.
I'm excited.
That turned out so well. And like, I don't know, even with how many of the We Grow Wild videos that I've watched, I don't know, I never felt like, personally, I never felt inspired to make this one, but now seeing you make it, I'm like, okay, maybe I do need to make one of these.
I think too,
it's so pretty.
Making it a little bit longer, it would be like a really perfect summer like cropped tank top.
Yeah.
And especially like with the right yarn, maybe not a wool for summer, but still good pattern. And I really like the fit. I think it would be really great in many ways, like with many different types of yarn fiber.
Yeah. I think you had just talked about, if you made it again, maybe wanting to add some elastic to the bottom, right?
Yes, yeah. But that's like, again, if I'm to make it a little longer, I think it might be okay, but just with the length it is now, I think it just like, I would feel a little bit more comfortable with some elastic, just feeling like everything will not fall out. The other project that I finished, which I think I talked about making a swatch for it last time, and I was making a swatch, and then I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna go for it.
Just keep going.
Yeah, and I did, and I finished it. Is the Romanticist bandana with the lace work. I love this. It turned out it turned out exactly how I was hoping it would.
Do you think you'll make another one?
I will make another one. Yeah, I have a whole other skein of this yarn, so I'm gonna go for it. And I had just enough yarn to finish this. I think I ended up with like the tiniest yarn ball I've ever seen.
It's so satisfying.
Yeah, it was perfect. The only thing that is my own fault that I did wrong is the I cord along the edge here. You're supposed to knit through the back loop, and I did not because I'm impatient. So there's a little bit of a...
I did that exact same thing on my levitate wrap.
Yeah. Yes.
It's so hard if you haven't done like an attached I-cord or something like that in a long time to remember you have to go through the back loop. But it looks good. Like, I think...
Yeah. Especially because it's like a bandana and not on a sweater. I feel a little bit better about it. But I think I wore it as like a bandana this way when I first finished it, and I love it. I think it's really great, and it fits like...
It looks so good.
It's just so fun. I don't know. I love it. So I'm excited about that. Yeah, that's my update from last time, I think.
Beautiful. Are you going to... I know you said... You hadn't blocked them yet. Are you gonna block both of them, or do you think you leave them the way they are?
I'm gonna block at least the bralette, mostly because I think it could use a good wash. The yarn that I got had like a spot on it when I bought it from the yarn store, and I feel like I just want to give it like a good wash. But I don't think I'm gonna block it, like stretch it out and pin it. I think I'm just going to let it air dry because I want that stretch to kind of stay. The bandana, I don't think it needs it, to be honest.
Yeah, it lays pretty flat as it is.
Yeah. The end, the little tip is a little curly, so maybe. We'll see. But I also am very much someone who just will wear something. I think I wore the first sweater I made without blocking it because I was scared to block it. For like at least a month.
Blocking seems so scary right when you start doing it, because it's like, oh, this could change everything, and I already love it. So yeah.
But we'll see.
And what a pleasant little pile of stuff here.
This is really great. The textures, I just love like this lace work too. So it's like little yarn overs. It turned out so good, and it was so easy, and I was like, oh wow, it's like actually doing the thing, which is just fun to see progress and just happen. I don't know. So I love it.
And I love like a pointelle material, and this feels very pointelle-esque. Like this must be what they do on like a pointelle t-shirt, just like super, super tiny.
Yeah.
It's just so delicate.
Yeah, it's great. I'm excited. I'm just so hyped on yarn.
Same. Always.
All right, your turn.
All right. Okay, I can't remember. Had I started this when we last did our video?
You had the swatch, like you showed the swatch in the...
Yes, okay.
Yeah.
So I have started working on my mixed rib camisole, one of those two. And I've gotten through, like, I've attached it under the arms. I haven't added any like the I-cord to it or anything, but I think you can start to see what it's gonna look like, which is nice because for a while, this is taking me a really, really long time to knit up. And for a bit there, it was just like, I'd be like, I've made progress, then show it to someone, and it was, you just couldn't tell what it was. But now it's starting to look like something, which helps it be exciting and like make me want to finish it. The main problem is just that I don't like working with yarn that's not made out of wool.
Yeah.
But I have to say, like, it's turning out beautiful. Like, I'm so excited to wear this. Obviously, like, I love a high neck sort of garment right now, and this is gonna be a similar silhouette, and I'm really excited about it.
I think it looks great, and I know, like, in the moment it feels like you're not progressing, but like as a bystander watching you do a project, you are certainly progressing, and it looks really great.
Thank you. It's nice that once you connect it, there's this big stockinette panel on the side, and it gives me like this moment of peace every round where I'm like, oh, I can do stockinette for like a couple seconds. It's gonna get less and less because you actually decrease in the stockinette section on the side. So it's the first thing I've done that has body, like, shaping along the body.
Is it like that on both sides?
Yeah. I'm not sure how far I'm gonna go for myself because I have not a lot of difference between my bust size and like the rest of my torso. So I'm supposed to try it on. I should probably try it on at some point.
Yeah.
The instructions say to like decrease until it feels right for you, basically. But yeah, so this is coming out well, I think. It's definitely more uneven than it was in her version because she used the Knitting for Olive merino.
Oh.
But I'm not gonna do a wool tank top.
Yeah, no.
It's 90 degrees out today. We're still indoors because we're dying. It's so hot.
Yep.
So we just needed to be in air conditioning.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I have to do silk or cotton or linen or something. But, one thing that I did for this, because I was inspired by all you're talking about doing the combination knitting, my ribbing is historically very messy.
Which I think you talked about when you showed the swatches, that end row somehow seems to be more loose.
Yeah,
than
like the very last stitch before I transition into like a purl gets really stretched out and weird looking. And you can actually see on the back of this, where when I first started, you can still see that. At least hopefully you can see. I don't know, maybe you can't. I can tell. So I started going pretty much after I went about this far down the back, I started doing the last stitch, the last, like, how to explain? You do like 4 knit stitches and then you do like ribbing for a little bit and then you do 4 knit stitches again, so you get those mixed widths of ribbing. And that last one, I just kind of knit through the back loop, and then on the way around, I twisted it or untwisted it.
Yeah, so instead of like I'm doing full combination knitting on this like stockinette, but you're just doing like the stitch is always loose.
Yes, just the problem stitch.
Yeah.
The only thing is, this rib pattern also has twisted rib. So
it takes a lot of brain power to make sure you're doing it when you need to.
It takes a lot of brain power when I'm also using silk yarn that I don't like, and it's fine. I'm gonna complain about it because that's how I'm gonna get through it. But then at the end of it, I'm gonna be like, this is so beautiful. I love it so much. Never making another one, but I made one and it's beautiful.
It's interesting as someone that I've known to be like, I just don't like the texture, so I'm never gonna work on it again.
And then I keep doing it.
You're really going for it. So I'm proud of you for that.
Every summer so far, I've made one summer project in a summer yarn, and I always end up like appreciating having it and glad I did it.
Yeah.
But as someone who knits maybe like 10 sweaters a year at least, the fact that I can only make it through one tank top every year just goes to show like I do it, I'm good. Yeah, and then it takes me another 3 seasons to forget how much I hated doing it, and then I do one more.
Yep.
But yeah, for me at least, using the metal Chiagu needles that I bought helps a lot with making this a more pleasant process, because I usually knit on bamboo needles, but you can see here I'm using metal ones. And being a very tight knitter, I find that plant fibers are stickier on my bamboo needles than wool ones are. Which seems contrary to what other people say. Like, when I'm watching other people's videos, they always talk about like, oh, they just slip right off, and so I need to use wooden needles to stop it from sliding. But yeah, I had to use metal, otherwise it just stuck to the needles.
Yeah, I think that's like every person knits differently too, and I think that's just part of it.
Yeah. So yeah, happy with how this is coming along. Still just chugging along on it. And hopefully I will have it done before cold weather hits. We'll see.
There's always next year.
There's always next year. This is true. So yeah, that's that one. And then I had mostly had this finished last time. My Olga sweater, but I finished the ribbing at the bottom. So
it looks so good.
I love it so much. And I'd actually talked with Arynne about this. Because I mentioned I really love styling. I love putting outfits together so much. I want to try to take a little video for you with like how I would outfit this. So if I manage to do that successfully, it's gonna be right here. Excuse my hair because I just took a shower and I'm getting ready to go to work. But this is maybe an easy, I don't know. This is probably what I would just throw on if I was like, as a first effort. Okay. Theoretically, this is a look, but like, I feel like I'm dressing up as Princess Diana a little bit. You know, there's a difference between things that like you see on Pinterest and you're like, that's cute, and then the things that you put on and you're like, I would never leave the house in this. It's just too, there's something too much about it. We're gonna tweak it a little bit. Okay, I had to do the red boots. I've talked about them too much, so maybe this is a look with the red boots. I'm not sure how like the tennis skirt situation with the red boots feels. It might be a little much. Like, would I wear this? Maybe. I'm just gonna try a longer skirt just to see if I like it better. Okay, yeah, this is the look. I like the long skirt better. It feels a little bit less forced. Something about having a long skirt on just feels like I can do stuff in this. I can go out in the world and it's like practical, but also cute. Here's the thing, what purse? Shoulder purse makes me feel like a Gen Z kid, so we love that, but that also might feel, I don't know, with the boot, it's a lot. What about this sporty bag? Yeah, I think I like that. This would be something that I'd like throw all my knitting stuff in this bag, which is huge, and like go sit at the park or go to a coffee shop or something. I also have black boots, and I love to match my black boots to a black purse, or like red boot to a red purse. I have a red purse as well, but it's not a shoulder bag, and we're just in shoulder bag mode right now. But yeah, I'm gonna call this good on the red boot front. Okay, I wanted to show something that wasn't way on bottom, but I don't know if this is it. I think the pants are too like, there's the splatter paint on them, and I feel like the stripes are such a statement already. I just want really basic bottoms, and I don't think this is it. Okay, I think I figured it out. This is a romper that I own. It's like a dark chocolate brown color, and I think it would layer really well with this. Yeah, like the chocolate brown works pretty well with the yellow. Yeah, no, I think chocolate brown's the way to go. Moral of the story, I need chocolate brown pants. Maybe, I don't actually like the boots with it. One sec. I tried on a bunch of different shoes, but I ended up with just my little New Balance sneakers from a couple years ago. They're sort of like a cream color that I think works well with the butter yellow kind of tone. But yeah, I don't know what it is. I feel like recently, if my outfit doesn't have like something sort of sporty in it, it just bugs me. It feels like I'm trying too hard or something. So yeah, I think that's the look for an option that doesn't have a white bottom. But now back to knitting. I honestly don't think I have a lot more to say about this besides like how I'd style it, because I talked about it a lot last time. But so far it has worn very well. I've worn it maybe twice a week since I made it, and I don't feel like it's gathered a lot of pilling on the bottom of the sleeve. I feel like when you first finish knitting something, the worst pilling things will pill like almost instantly. So I feel like I've dodged the like, okay, maybe now if this pills, it's gonna be, I don't know, just it's not gonna be the worst.
Yeah.
I do know I've had things before that I made with all, the light yellow is Double Sunday by Sandnes Garn. I have found that one pills pretty bad, but I don't think the Knitting for Olive, which is the other 2 colors, pills that bad. So it seems to be holding itself together all right. So yeah.
We will find out with time.
We will find out, especially once it's a little colder out, and I will wear this much, much more. I'm so excited. I should mention, in my heart, it's fall. I know this is controversial because it's still July, but I'm burning a pumpkin candle over there. And I'm just ready for fall. I want to be able to wear my sweaters again.
I keep thinking that before we know it, it's going to be September. Like, it just feels like the summer goes by so fast. So
yeah,
it's
like, who
fall.
needs August?
It's fall soon.
As a knitting person, I'm ready.
We're
ready
fall folks.
But yeah, so that's my finished object from when we were last talking, and then between our last video and now, I've knit a whole nother thing, but it's for a baby, so it was small. So this is how this turned out.
Oh my! I haven't seen this finished yet, and this is.
Isn't it cute?
Oh my goodness!
I don't know if you can tell. This is not black. It's like a dark purple.
Wow! I love it so much. It turned out so cute. I really want to make myself an adult-sized, like, fun
colored one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Honestly, maybe that's gonna be necessary because I think
that's so cute.
I want to make a bunch more of these. This was just so fun to make.
It's adorable.
When we went to Lift Bridge Yarns, I picked up this bag full of different colors of what is it? It is the Plymouth Select Worsted Merino Superwash, 100% superwash fine merino wool. Because I felt like, okay, I'm really picky about yarn. I mean, everyone who knits is, I guess, but I don't knit with a lot of superwash, and I don't want it to be shiny, and it also needs to be like not the really hyper bright like crayon color yarn. Like I really like the color palette that this yarn comes in. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with it, and I'm gonna make a couple more
So
too.
cute.
This one is for one of my co-workers' children. I think it's gonna be too big. I made the 2-year-old version, and their baby is 1-year-old.
Which I think, like, my advice to you is, like, they'll grow into it. Like,
yeah.
I feel like most parents of young babies don't often, like, before you know it, they size out of something. And you'd rather, like, be able to appreciate something for longer than only be able to use it for, like, the next few months.
Yeah.
So
honestly, I'm not that concerned about it. I think it'll be good
perfect.
anyway. But I just, I keep looking at it and I'm like, how big is a 1-year-old?
yeah, how big is a baby?
How big is a baby? I have no idea. I don't have babies. I have cats.
Well,
as evidenced by a cat right there.
I mean, similar but different. I made a balaclava for my friend's 1-year-old, and apparently she had a very large head for a 1-year-old, and it didn't fit. So I think it's, like, always safe to go bigger for a child because they grow so quickly.
Yeah. So, like, yeah, I'm really excited about this, and it's just so fun to pick the color combos. So I'm gonna make one for my niece. And then I have another coworker who I think would appreciate one. We have like the exact same color palette preferences. So I'm just looking forward to making a couple more of these.
I love it. It looks so good.
So fun. And yeah, highly recommend this yarn because it's really soft. And my experience so far with making things for other people's babies is that people will not put their babies in something that feels rough to them. Sure. And I have had to just accept that. It's understandable. They're not all knitters. They're not used to rustic wools. Not that I was making anything out of a rustic wool for a baby, but like if it's not soft, people are like, oh, I don't know.
I mean, I'll be honest, anytime I've shopped for a baby, I'm like, this is the most soft thing. I have to get it.
Right? Yeah, exactly. So I've come to terms with that now, and this is very soft. So I think this is going to be my go-to baby yarn for a little bit. I will say this is kind of expensive yarn. So I'm still on the hunt for an alternative baby yarn, but this is just my favorite one I found so far. But I'm not gonna, it's like $17 a skein, which feels like a lot for like a superwash yarn.
I mean, also you're going to maybe be able to get most of another baby sweater out of it too, so
it's not worth it. Like I love me an expensive yarn. I just feel like I could find something I feel like I could find something similar cheaper. But still, it's great. I'm happy with it, and I cannot wait to see what she thinks of it. So yeah, that's another finished object there. I think that's all my finished objects. I have a couple things that I've started working on, and I brought one other like previously finished project to show. Should I just go into those? Okay. So this looks like nothing. I just started this like yesterday because I needed something that I could knit on while watching a movie, and I didn't really have anything that would be good for that. So, oh, it's kind of twisted. These are the shoulder pieces from...
Just making shoulder pads?
Yeah, exactly. These are the shoulder pieces for making another one of those T #1 hacked into a cardigans that I showed last time. It's navy. It's Brooklyn Tweed Loft. I think that's the one that's the same as Shelter, but it's like a fingering weight. And that's what this is. I don't know if
you won't be able to see it, but it's like this navy has like beautiful flecks of like reds and light blues in there.
Oh, it's not gonna focus. Yeah, it's like this beautiful, really pretty, tweedy kind of material. And when you wash it, it poofs up so much. I had a swatch, but I don't know where it's gone. But you can, like, if you look at the difference between this one, like if I hold it up, you can kind of see through this one. The one that I've washed is like, it's solid. Oofed. So I'm really excited about that. I want to do like a pearl little button on it.
That'll be cute.
So yeah, I'm just getting ready for fall fashion, and I think this would be a really cute cardigan to have. So I started that. And then, did you have anything else you want to talk about?
I do have a swatch, which I mentioned. I think I do with me. Sorry.
Very good. Just gonna take a sip of my coffee.
Alright. So I have this swatch. I mentioned last time that I was working on, or going to work on, the Roberta sweater. It's Gregoria fibers, and this is the swatch that I made for that.
It's so beautiful.
It's very fuzzy, but so yeah, this is it's a wool and silk yarn with the mushroom rose mohair from Knitting for Olive.
Your handwriting is so tidy. Like I feel like this just needs to be like, it's so neat and tidy.
It fit. I was like, how can I fit all of this info on this tiny little paper? But Kim does this on all of her swatches, and I think it's so cute and organized. And so I was like, ooh, I have all these little labels from when I used to sell art stuff.
Might as well use it.
Yeah. I'm trying to be more organized with swatches and like my yarn stash. So I'm really excited about this. I like the texture. It's easier to see from far away, I think, because it's the mohair is so fuzzy. I'm pretty sure this is the front.
Yeah. Gosh, that looks really neat in camera.
Yeah, I'm very excited.
In real life too.
It's really like a nude color though, so I feel like it's something I'll have to layer. Otherwise, I will look like I'm not wearing a shirt. So
I could see you wearing this with like your white collared shirt underneath it, and it would look really nice.
And the fabric is very light. Like I think that as a vest especially, it won't feel super thick and heavy. And the collar and like arm hems, the arm collars,
the arm collars
are double. So I think they're folded over and knit together or rolled, but
it's almost like the same thing as like a neck
it's a thicker neck. It's a thicker band. But I think because of the weight of this, it won't feel like so heavy. I think it'll be really nice. So I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, many things coming up soon.
I also have a swatch to show. I have no idea what I'm gonna make with this yet, but I made this swatch out of Jameson Spindrift and Isager or Isire mohair.
Tomato.
I think that's how, like, I had asked someone at the yarn store how to say it, and I think it is supposed to be Isire, like you don't pronounce the G. But this is a really like crunchy yarn, and so I wanted to put it with the mohair to kind of add some softness. I don't mind a crunchy yarn, especially for like, I've been on a cardigan kick, so this is probably going to be another cardigan. It'll have something else underneath it. But I also I have no idea what I'm going to make out of it. But they come in
like that shade of pink a lot. It's just really pretty.
And it's like a good match. But these teeny tiny balls that this comes in.
So you'll probably need 100 of them.
I think I bought 14 of them.
Wow.
Because they're 25-gram balls.
That's so fun.
Yeah.
Like fun, but also
a little
lot.
ridiculous. But no, I'm really excited about these colors. I really like different like pink tones theoretically, but I'm a very pink human being, and so I don't get to wear a lot of pink because it tends to just not look good on me specifically. But I was trying to find something that I could add to my wardrobe that would be pink, but not like, I don't really like hot pink. Like I like a more natural toned pink. And this one I think I'll be able to wear this without it looking like I'm naked.
Yeah.
This is the problem with pink colors, but no, I think this will work for me. So I'll figure out something to do with this, but that's on my list of yarns to use here. And then, should I talk about this one? Okay, so I brought one other sweater because I just like to show ones that I haven't gotten a chance to show yet, and this is one of my most...
we did, so the last video was from the vault, and Kim has a vast collection of sweaters that she's knit that are all really beautiful, and I think that like we'll sprinkle them in throughout the videos because they're so cool, and I think we don't have 6 hours to do it.
Oh yeah, if I was gonna walk through all the sweaters that I made, it would be like, I don't allow myself to buy sweaters anymore because I have limited space and I want to save all the space that I can for sweaters that I've made myself.
Yes.
So
I think we'll try to do some new stuff and do some like styling with certain sweaters. Maybe this one could be...
This one will definitely be one that at some point I'll have to like put some outfits together for, because I think this is one of my most worn sweaters from last year. It's very dark, so sorry if you can't. I'm gonna try to tilt it around a little bit, but see the little pom-poms?
Oh, it's so...
It's a very heavy sweater. Like, this is one of those things you put on and it's like very calming. It's like a weighted blanket. But it is the Louise pullover by Northside Knits, I believe. This was the second sweater that I ever knit. Not this one specifically, this pattern was, and this is the third time I've knit it, and this is the first time I made it, I think, close to what the gauge is supposed to be. All the rest of them that I've made have been like way too small.
You made a red one too, right?
Yes. Yeah. I made the light gray one first, and then I made the red one, which was a teensy bit bigger, but at that point I hadn't figured out how to change needle size. I just like changed to a thicker yarn and was like, this will make it the right size.
Yeah. Classic beginner.
Exactly. Well, exactly. No, I like literally, I had not figured out, oh, I can just go up a needle size because I knit tight. I also don't think I knew even how to measure a gauge at that point. So yeah. Nothing against past me, but this one is definitely the best that I've made. It's a little bit cropped, but not so cropped that like shows my stomach. I didn't have any problem wearing it all winter long. This is definitely one of those sweaters that like, it's so heavy. If it was cropped, I would have no appropriate weather to wear it in.
Yeah.
And then this spring, I was wearing this with like, I also have a tall brown boot. And my go-to outfit with this was, I have, you know, like the boxer short trend?
Yes, yep.
So I have these like blue striped boxer shorts that I was wearing with this and my tall brown boots, which sounds like a really unhinged outfit, and maybe it is, but I was wearing it like this whole spring and I felt so cool.
If you can't appreciate your own outfits, then what's the point? You know?
Exactly.
Who cares if it's unhinged? If it's you go for it.
Made me happy. So that I'm looking forward to short and sweater weather. It's my favorite time of year. If I can wear shorts with a sweater, I'm like peak coziness, but also comfort. Like, it's so good. So yeah, my thoughts on this pattern is that, first of all, I really like it. I've made it 3 times, so I think it's like definitely a good pattern. I do hate the short rows. It uses wrap and turns instead of German short rows, and it's the only pattern I've gotten that uses those. And I'm sure some people like them better, but I have still not figured out how to make them not leave holes. Actually, I take that back. I can do all of them until the last one, and on all 3 of the sweaters that I've made, the last one leaves a hole, and I don't know why specifically that one. It's the only one that basically, like, you know, when you're doing short rows, you go like around here and then a little bit further this way and then back again. On the last one, you go past it the other direction.
Oh.
So something about how I'm doing that is leaving a hole.
Interesting.
But I wish I could just switch them out for German short rows, and you can't without like changing some things.
Yeah.
And I've been too lazy to do that, so. Yeah. But that's my only problem with this pattern. I think it's funny that, like, whenever I wear this to a yarn store or where other people who knit are, the #1 comment that I get is, oh my gosh, how did you make a sweater with that many bobbles on it? And it never occurred to me that that's something that other people hate. Like, I've just made this a few times and I love the bobbles, but apparently bobbles are pretty universally hated because yeah, everyone's just like floored that I had the willpower to do it every time
You're like,
wear it.
Not only have I done it this time, I've done it 2 other times.
Exactly. And it's not, I don't actually think it's that bad. I mean, they're kind of annoying because you have to like flip your project back and forth a couple times, but it's only like every, I think it's something like 8 rows that you have to do a bobble around, so you get a good break between them. So yeah,
Cute.
That's that.
Very cute.
And I think that's all the stuff that I brought. But do you have any, like, I don't know, other like knitting plans you wanted to talk about, or?
I have no plans as far as projects go. I'm gonna be working on this one for a while, and then the other color work project for a while probably. I am going to Greece next Friday, which I'm very excited about. Ironically, a blue and white striped sweater to go to Greece, which is really
It
just a coincidence. Yeah, but I'm going to be working on this there. So you'll probably see a video of knitting in Greece.
Like, I feel like I can just picture you like sitting on a beach, like on a cliffside or something, like knitting away on this, and it's gonna look so picturesque.
You certainly will see that. I think the only other thing is, I wanted to mention this because I think it's really cute. Hold on.
Oh yeah.
So when we went to Lift Bridge Yarns, they had this passport. It's a New York wine trail passport.
It's so cute.
It is the coolest idea. They were giving them away free at the register, but it basically like has every region of New York. Let's see. And then for each region, it shows you every yarn store in that region.
And I make a habit of stopping at yarn stores while traveling, so it was really cool to look through it and be like, oh my gosh, I've been to that one. Oh wait, I didn't know that one existed.
Yeah, so like, for example, this is the one from, like, that's Lift Bridge that's stamped. And I think it's just such a cool idea, not only because you can just be like, oh, I checked off, I went to this one, but also because how many times do I travel somewhere and go, I wonder if there's a yarn store around? Like, it's a cool thing to have like a map of anywhere you can buy yarn. So I just think it was like really, really cool. But
so cool. I cannot wait to travel around with this thing.
More people should do things like this.
Yeah, agreed.
Or maybe we should just start one. Just like keep track of everyone we've gone to, and I don't know.
Or maybe, I don't know. I wonder if maybe other states do that. I don't know.
Maybe.
I guess I haven't really been to yarn stores outside of New York yet.
Yeah.
But no, I want to have something like that wherever I'm traveling.
Like an actual passport, and I can just have them like put a sticker or something from every place I've gone.
It looks just like a normal passport, but when you open it up and see my picture, it's like me with like a pile of sweaters on my head.
Yes. Yes. I love that.
It'd be great.
Yeah, but I think that's all we have for today.
It.
So thanks for watching. Woohoo! See you next time.
Bye.